Alright guys, quick heads up, if you like the content, I know I'm not uploading regularly right now, stuff's going on, a lot of things are changing, but if you like what's going on, please don't be afraid to, like the video, maybe subscribe too. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe actually, but just like the video at least. I don't know, comment if you want, ask me questions, anything. I love to interact with people, so I don't really care, but either way, that's just something I'm throwing out. Look, Matt Cardona, and otherwise known as Zack Ryder, if you didn't know, he recently came out, he said something in an interview, I think it was in Sports Illustrated, and he said the following: "I'm proud to be the indie god. I'm proud to be the face of GCW. When it's all said and done, I want to end my career in WWE. I want to have another WrestleMania moment. I want to be in Madison Square Garden, but as Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder's dead." And look, I don't have a full-on issue with this, okay? This statement is okay. But then he goes on to say, "I think right now, summer 2024, being released from WWE for 4 years, I honestly feel like I'm closer to the WWE World title than when I was working with WWE." Okay? This is a little bit much. And look, I had a video in the vault that I really wanted to upload, and it was one about Matt Hardy and his begging, okay? But this video is one that I've been kind of yearning to sort of make already for a little while, okay? Actually, not really for a little while. This only came out yesterday. But either way, something like this, all right? And it's kind of in the same relativity, all right? I don't like when wrestlers go out and beg for things. I don't like when wrestlers go out of their way and say, I really deserve this. I really want this. I really want to come back to WWE. That is not ever a sensible approach. It also kills your leverage every single time you speak like that from a business standpoint. So I've never been a fan of wrestlers going out of their way to say, like, "I really want to go back to WWE and end my career in WWE." Like, especially when they're the hot product right now. It's not like, you didn't want to do that a couple years ago. I know damn well you didn't, all right? So as a general, that's more general to most wrestlers who say this, all right? Not just Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, okay? But it's like, you didn't want to do that a couple years ago, but they're hot right now. So yeah, definitely want to go back. But look, just addressing this, I don't have an issue with, like, I'm going to call him Zack Ryder. I'm going to keep mixing his name up. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. We're going to call him Matt Cardona, okay? Matt Cardona coming out and saying, "I want to go and I want to wrestle for WWE again. I want to come." That doesn't really fully bother me, but I'm closer to the WWE Championship. Like, what the fuck? This is more like, he wants essentially the Cody Rhodes story. He wants us to give him the Cody Rhodes story all over again. He wants his own version of the Cody Rhodes story. Which isn't, like, ridiculous on the surface level, because you're like, all right, well, he's been gone for 4 years. He's reinvented himself. He's got a new name. He's got a new moniker. He became the king of death matches at GCW. He became an indie god, as he says. Or he's the indie god all of a sudden. He's wrestled on a gazillion different promotions. He fought Edge at one point. All right, so he's done a lot of things, okay? Let's be fair to him. But it's like, I'm not a fan at any capacity of people being like, "Oh, I deserve the WWE Championship, though." It's like, dude, they're going to call you, and there's going to be something worked out if they want you back, and they want you back on a prominent level, right? And just constantly going out and saying things like this is never a wise thing to do. Matt Hardy did this the other day, and I'm not going to go really much into it, but he was like, I want to have that big WrestleMania moment, some big final thing, and then enter the Hall of Fame. Like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. You wanted out of the company a couple years ago. Go fuck yourself, It's like, now you're Mr. Loyalty all of a sudden, Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy's Mr. Loyalty all of a sudden after he's been in and out of the company for like 2 decades. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Seriously, it's a hot product. I get it. So now it's like, we're a hot commodity. We want to be there type deal. All right, and I'm not a WWE guy. I'm not representing. I like different promotions. I like AEW. So it's not as if I'm representing WWE. But it's like, I'm not a fan of that standpoint. I'm not a fan of that perspective. But let's go now into the more technical component of this. Okay, is Matt Cardona a real main eventer? Is he in the WWE or real world champion material? Right. Let's just ask that simple question. Who has gotten the undisputed title in the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years? Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. That's it. That is it. There's nobody else. And by the way, the only other people who may get that title, let's create the little pool, the wild cards. The Rock, for storyline purposes, might take that title. Who knows? To set something up with Cody Rhodes. Who knows? That's not Mission Impossible. I wouldn't support that, but I wouldn't be against it either. And then Randy Orton, because there's an incredible storyline, an incredible story you can tell with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That could probably go on for about 4 to 6 months. Like, there's a crazy program you could put on with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. That's really it, though. Okay? And then there's Roman Reigns, obviously, who could take it back. But that's it! Like, that's the whole pool of people who can take the undisputed title. Okay? And I'm going to do a later video maybe on Swerve, because I heard, I had a comment on Twitter that was just driving me crazy. And I want to kind of, I want to address a lot of this stuff. But it's like, that's basically the whole pool of people who can win the undisputed title. That's it. That is like the company title. Think about that, and the World Heavyweight Championship is 2 different things, okay? One is like the real main event title, like you progressed and you are now officially in the main event scene, which is the World Heavyweight title. And I can explain how that makes sense. then one's the company face title, okay? The company face title will not change unless the company is willing to add people or change the face of the company, okay? We're now progressing into Cody's time as the face of the company, even though Roman's still definitely the face of the company also. They have two faces of the company, essentially. But Roman now takes hiatuses. He's not going to really show up a lot on TV anymore. We know how he's going to work with Roman going forward. So Cody Rhodes is effectively, he does weekly television. He's the guy who's going to be there. He's going to be the real face, reputable guy. And he's a baby face, too. He's a perfect baby face. He's a perfect guy to build the company around. Matt Cardona is essentially asking for that position. It's like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself sideways and backwards and frontwards. And I don't have an issue with Matt Cardona, but it's like, that's ridiculous. That's such an ask. You're begging so hard for something that's like every wrestler's dream, essentially. It's to like make it back or make it to WWE, and for WWE to create him a 1 or 2 year path lane for them to become the face of the company. Get the fuck out of here. And there's a story, but they just did it with Cody Rhodes. So it's like, I don't know why anyone would want to do this again. And not only that, he's not Zack Ryder anymore. He's Matt Cardona. So again, he's not fully recognizable to some of the fans, or maybe the casual fans, I'll say. The other world championship, maybe you throw him into the main event scene, but think about who's won that title. Seth Rollins for almost a year held that title. Drew McIntyre had it for 5 minutes, okay, but that was for storyline purposes. Okay, but still, Drew McIntyre had that title too, okay, and he's sensible. He's also a main eventer. Then who got it after? Who did they decide to make a main eventer out of and a full-fledged top guy out of? Damian Priest. But he's been there. He's been in the company. He's been grinding it through these last bunch of years, whatever it is, 6, 7, 8 years, okay? So Damian Priest was a perfectly viable pick. Okay, and now they have another guy in their fold, okay? And then who else is in that picture? Gunther, who they've been building up for the last couple of years, and now he's going to have that title for at least 6 months. Who else is in that picture who hasn't gotten that title? CM Punk, okay? Who probably would have been competing for that title had he not get injured at WrestleMania, or before WrestleMania. That's essentially it, okay? Everyone else is like an outsider, a main event, a mid-carder, upper mid-carder. So who's in that category? Jey Uso, for example, right? This is what bothers me. What does Matt Cardona really want? Okay, you're not going to be the face of the company, so you're not getting the undisputed title. You're not in that category where you can be one of those 3 or 4 guys who can really get that, okay, to be honest. And then what does it leave you with? It leaves you with the World Heavyweight Championship scene. Should that title go to Matt Cardona at any point in the next year? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest. I don't know. At first, I was like, there's a good story you can tell with that, but I don't know about that one, man. I don't know. Jey Uso, who got nastily over, could not get that title and is not going to see that title for the light of day for the next couple of years, most likely, right? That title barely moves. That title's not going to move a lot. It's not going to have a lot of movement, to be honest. Gunther's going to hold it for at least 6 to 8 months. He's going to hold it for 8 months. He's going to hold it to WrestleMania, most likely. So, I don't know what anyone's expecting. Braun Breaker is probably being the next guy being built for that title, right? He's got the IC title. The IC title is now like the B title to becoming the world champion eventually, the World Heavyweight Champion. That's essentially how it's going. And Braun Breaker is the current guy, I think, next to probably be in line for a big title reign. But I don't think he's going to get it within the next 2 years, probably. For at least a year and a half, he's probably going to become the champion. So, who gets that title? Who's getting that fucking title? Who should get it next? Maybe CM Punk. That actually makes plenty of sense. Because you want him in a WrestleMania match, probably with the title, potentially. Hell, maybe Seth Rollins again. I don't know. Seth Rollins is one of the faces of the company. This is the thing. What's he asking for? He's asking for essentially like, make me one of the faces of the company. There's 5 or 6 guys on Raw who are in that scene, and then and I guess Randy Orton's kind of in there. But let's ignore Randy Orton. And then for the undisputed title, it's like 3 or 4 guys. It's Roman, Cody, Rock, and maybe Randy Orton. That's it. It's his categories like the upper mid card, the mid card to upper mid card. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, LA Knight before he won the US title, Jey Uso. That is where he belongs, right? That's probably where he belongs. So I don't know if WWE wants him because of that, right? I don't know if it makes... This is why he's such a weird person to bring back. There's a good story. There's plenty of elements there. There's plenty of reason to look forward to bringing him back too. But I don't really know where he'd belong, right? Like, that's their scene. I'm just laid it out for you, right? Those are the World Heavyweight Champions. Those are the WWE Champions, okay? That's the Undisputed Champion right there. That's the World Heavyweight Champion over there, right? Right? Like, those are the two scenes. The World Heavyweight Championship has like about 5 or 6 guys who are like legitimate contenders to hold that thing again. The WWE Championship has like 3 or 4 guys. And then everyone else who is pretty much losing programs to those guys when they have the titles. It's a weird thing to come out and say all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather he just go out and just not do this. I feel like it's very desperate. But I get it also. His wife's in the company though. So it's like, he has connections to WWE, obviously still. So it's like, I just feel like it's a weird thing to go out of your way though and keep doing, shit like this. It's like, when they want you, they'll want you, right? And I like Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona. I like him. I think there's a place for him probably, but I don't know if maybe there really isn't, to be honest. At the same time, maybe there really isn't a place for him. Because if his expectation is, I want to be one of the faces of the company, I don't know if you're going to be one of the faces of the company, to be fucking honest with you. And I want Ricky Starks, when WWE signs him, to be the face of the company, one of the faces of the company. He's young enough for it. He's got the look for it. He can talk, man. All right, and we've been hyped for him for a while. So look, that's a whole other video. But yeah, man, I'm sorry, Matt Cardona. I don't know if I'm fully bought into the idea. It's a weird. It's not to bury him in any capacity, but it's like, I don't know, man. What exactly do you want? You want to be the World Heavyweight Championship? You want to be World Heavyweight Champion? All right, well then, I don't know if you're gonna get that, because look at who's in that scene. I don't think you're over any of those guys. Even if they give you some big special rollout return, I don't think you're over any of those fucking guys. All right? His program, a good program for him is LA Knight for the U.S. title. And it's like, he's already won the U.S. title. He's already won the IC title. He had those mid-card championship moments. He won the tag team title too. He's already done those little things, man. And it's like, he's pretty much asking for a World Heavyweight Championship or a WWE Championship. And I wouldn't be doing that. If you want, I'd love to see him in a big program with like CM Punk. That's something like that to me is more interesting. And he could add to the upper mid-card scene. But they don't really need to do that. WWE can organically build those guys. Like, they can organically build up those guys. And those are easy guys to build up. They're pretty much the people who lose to the guys you want to put over. That's it. And I just don't think that's a good position for Matt Cardona. I don't think that's what he wants.